Afternoon, everyone. My name is Amber Blanchard. I am with MnDOT, and I am the Major Projects Manager and also the Project Director of Stone Arch Bridge. So welcome to our ceremony this afternoon. Thank you all for coming out and celebrating the reopening of this historic bridge. Also an integral bicycle and pedestrian link, and a key community connection between Northeast and downtown Minneapolis. We are beyond thrilled to reopen this bridge months ahead of schedule, and in time for the community to come together and once again fully use and enjoy the bridge for the rest of the summer and beyond. One thing we would quickly like to note is we are still planning on having our celebration for the larger community on August 9th, which you are all invited to come out and enjoy the celebration with us. When it became apparent that we could reopen the bridge even earlier than the 9th, we obviously were very, very excited, myself included, but still wanted to hold the event to recognize the occasion without delay and without delaying the opening as well. One of our primary goals with this project was to get the bridge open to the public as soon as possible, which is what brings us here today. At this point, I would like to introduce MnDOT's Commissioner, Nancy Daubenberger, to speak.
All right. Thank you.
Well, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you all for coming out here today. It's so great to see so many familiar faces, especially when there's this level of excitement to reopen this important recreational site and connection between downtown and Northeast Minneapolis communities. Seems like just yesterday we were here gathered on the upper side of St. Anthony Falls to celebrate the reopening of the 3rd Avenue Bridge after another significant project to restore a historic Mississippi River crossing. And just like this project, it wouldn't have been nearly as successful without your support and your patience. I'd like to thank all of you for helping out with this project and that support and patience over the duration of the project as we moved down to the falls to this historic Stone Arch Bridge, especially the business community on both sides of the bridge. And maybe just a little bit of fun facts about the bridge, and this is in your program too if you grabbed one, but the Stone Arch Bridge over the Mississippi River is made of native granite and limestone, measures 2,100 feet long by 28 feet wide. The bridge consists of 23 arches and was built by railroad icon James J. Hill in 1881. That's when construction started, completed in 83. I remember 1881 because that's a number you write and it's the same upside down, right? So, and it served as a working railroad bridge until 1965, and it's still seen as an important symbol of the railroad age. So MnDOT acquired the Stone Arch Bridge as a rail bank property in 1992. And that was a state statute that allowed us to purchase abandoned railroad property for preservation and to use as a trail. And it was placed on the National Register of Historic Places in 1971. So while MnDOT is the owner now of the structure, our City of Minneapolis partners are key. We share through an agreement, maintenance and repair and capital investment responsibilities are all laid out that way, but they're a key partner in owning and operating this bridge. And since the bridge doesn't carry a state highway, it's not eligible for state trunk highway funds. So I want to make sure to also thank all the elected officials who've made funding for this project possible. Federal Transportation Alternatives set aside dollars for over 80% of it, the general obligation bonds, and Minnesota Rail Service Improvement Program funds from the state legislature to match those federal funds. So really appreciate all the support from elected officials and our administration over the years for that. But just a few other things. I want to thank the following partners for your support to preserve this bridge: Minneapolis Park and Rec Board, City of Minneapolis, U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, Federal Highway Administration, and Minnesota State Historic Preservation Office. Why don't we give our partners a hand? And while the bridge connects places, it's the communities around that gives them the purpose. And the vision that MnDOT works towards is for a multimodal transportation system in the state that maximizes the health of people, the environment, and our economy. And investments in multimodal facilities like the Stone Arch Bridge for bicyclists and pedestrians help us work toward our goal of reducing vehicle miles traveled by 20% per capita by 2050, providing accessible choices for transportation. And we realize projects like this can be disruptive. For that reason, we strive to bring the needs of the people most affected by the work to the forefront, whether it's those who rely on bicycling or walking to get to work, to the business owners who rely on that foot and bicycle traffic. We're committed to limiting disruptions and maintaining access to the best of our ability. I'm proud to say we're able to put that into practice with this project, closing half of the bridge at a time to allow safe public access to part of the bridge while the crews complete the preservation work. And wanted to mention too, so this work, it's been to rehab and repair the structure to keep it from falling into disrepair. And the latest effort was the ultimate preservation project, repairing the limestone, replacing mortar, tuck pointing mortar to improve the condition of the aging bridge. We started construction spring of 24, and we were expecting it to take 2 years to complete given the bridge's condition, but we were able to open up here a couple months ahead of time, and my sincere appreciation goes out to the construction crews, MnDOT staff who worked diligently on the project to get us to where we are today. So moments where we're fully reopening the bridge a few months ahead of schedule for surrounding communities and others from the state. I hope you can enjoy this now. So I'd like to thank the following companies for their work on this bridge: LHB, McDonald and Mack Architects, Collins Engineers, HNTB, WSJ, SRF Consulting, Braun Intertech, HDR, Kramer North America, American Masonry Restoration, Brennan, Rainbow Incorporated, Warning Lights, Tice Incorporated, Stonebrook Fence, Job Site Solution, and MBE. I would also like to thank those within MnDOT who spent many years working to identify funding, manage design and construction, collaborate with partners, and communicate with the community to get us to where we are today. So this work will extend the life of the bridge for decades to come, offering future generations the opportunity to enjoy everything it has to offer and appreciate the craftsmanship in the construction and the elegance of the design in this beautiful setting. I love running over this bridge and bicycling over this bridge. I just love this bridge. I have a picture of it in my office. And when the sad day comes, I have to leave the job. I'm going to put a little note on there: do not spend trunk highway dollars on this bridge, but please take good care of it. So thank you all for your patience as our crews work to preserve this. And now I will turn it over to our governor, Tim Walz.
Well, thank you, Commissioner, and I don't know if I can adequately express how thrilled I am to end a construction project and not telling you 94 will be closing Friday night once again. So, but to MnDOT and to all the partners that you just mentioned, thank you for this work. Once the work is done, and once the preservation is done, and once the needs of the communities and the desires of the mayor, who made it clear how important this bridge was to the identity of this city and of our state, these are the folks that got it done. And as you heard, ahead of time, on budget, with 0 injuries or lost time on this project. And that's what really matters. And I'm really grateful to that, to MnDOT. Thank you to the partners. This is a $38.5 million project. And as you heard, $33.3 million of that comes from the TAP program from the federal government. To Senators Smith and Klobuchar, thank you. To Congresswoman Omar, thank you for the work that was done there, and to all of our delegation. And a thank you to the state legislature. As you heard, this took general obligation bonds. This is why bonding bills matter. This is why the folks who are there to make this happen so that we're able to keep these projects moving. And then, of course, all the folks are in this. Chair Zelli here from Met Council. We've got commissioners that are here, city council members, parks boards, all the folks that make it work together. And again, at the heart of our city, these multimodal pieces, and you see it all across this city, of understanding, making this a livable city, making this a walkable, bikeable city, make sure that public transportation is there, as well as upgrading our freeways, making sure all of those things fit together. So if it feels like there's a lot of construction going on around infrastructure. The reason that there is, I'm not certain, but I think we've talked about this. I think during our administration, we've had more projects and more funds put into these projects because it's about investing in the future. And as you heard the commissioner say, to not take care of these things, we end up paying in the long run. And I would make one note on this. This is an iconic and historic bridge. It's even become more so because the engineers involved with this, I said I've seen this all across the country. When National Governors Association gathers, there's a lot of vendors that gather because they're talking to all of the states. This bridge has been the example of modern mapping technology, modern construction techniques of making sure that we can do these things and get these projects in, just like they said, on budget, under time. And that's a huge thank you. It's also something I'm very proud of when people see this historic bridge across the Mississippi that's at the heart of Mill City. So congratulations to each and every person who worked on this. Thank you for the patience, and you're going to hear from them. I'm going to leave my final thank yous to all of the businesses. We understand the impact, and I certainly don't make light of it. When the thoroughfares or whatever it is, whatever construction project it is, if it interferes with people coming into your business, that is incredibly disruptive. And the folks you're going to hear from, one of them talk about this. And also a thank you to all the Minnesotans who did not take prom pictures here, or engagement pictures here, or wedding pictures here. You were patient. Now you can. We invite you down here. We invite you to take part in these businesses, book with them, get things done, make this the center as it's always been. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to my friend, somebody who made this very clear that when we came in, that this bridge needed to be done. The expectation that we would finish it is, and here we are early because of his leadership, Mayor Frey.
This is yet another example of Governor Walz because the reality is that the Stone Arch Bridge is back and Minneapolis is coming back along with it. There is a great comeback that we are experiencing right now, and the Stone Arch Bridge, as so many of you know, is emblematic of the extraordinary city that we have right here. I remember the very first time crossing the Stone Arch Bridge. I cross the Stone Arch Bridge virtually every morning when I'm on a run. And every single time I think to myself, wow, the city of Minneapolis is a real place, and we all get to live in it. Because when you turn that right-hand turn right there, and you come through that tree-lined path, and then suddenly you see the backdrop of downtown, the sun is shining, the St. Anthony Falls are right here, and you're running by tons of people taking wedding photos and engagement photos, people biking and running and walking all along this great place. You just think to yourself, God bless, I love Minneapolis. And the fact that it is back right now is so beautiful. Big thank you again to MnDOT and the whole Walz administration for getting this done ahead of time. I mean, these extra few months that we're getting, that's another 90 days at least that people will get to enjoy this, walking and running across it every single morning. That's more people that are going to meet the love of their life, more people that are going to get to stay in shape, more people that are going to get to traverse from the east side over to downtown. And I know Council Member Michael Rainville is really excited about this because I see him out on this bridge virtually every single day. And so, you know, not to mention the businesses. Steve Hark over here, who runs Minneapolis-St centers. I actually got married at his venue 9 years ago. I intended to get engaged on the Stone Arch Bridge. But on the way there, I kind of lost track of the plan, and we got engaged in the alley by the dumpsters right behind my house. And Sarah will never let me live that down, because wouldn't the Stone Arch Bridge have been a perfect spot to do it? But obviously, the businesses are impacted, and I know now that there are so many people that are going to get married at Minneapolis-St Center that will first take their wedding photos right here. Maybe it's a little bit cliche, but let's be real. It is incredibly beautiful. It's one of the most beautiful spots in the entire state right here. So thank you so much to everybody. We get to partner with so many of these great people, and among them, of course, is the Park and Recreation Board. With Al Bangora at the helm, he does such a fabulous job managing our best in the country park system. There we go.
All right, such a pleasure to be here. You just can't beat this view, can you? I mean, it's absolutely incredible. Anyways, it's a great, great day for our riverfront parks and our projects. The Central Mississippi Riverfront Regional Park this year alone last year had 3.6 million visits last year to our park system. The Stone Arch Bridge literally being one of those really centerpieces for that park system. And so we're so proud of that. We really invite everyone to come down to this area to re-engage, enjoy really this amazing park system. We have weekly concerts at Father Hennepin Park. We have trivia and concerts and leagues at Waterworks. There is something brewing. I think they're going to try to get the mayor and I to play pickleball against Mayor Carter and the director from St. Paul. I think it's our trash talking early, so we'll get that going. But there's also really some incredible milestones that are happening within our park system. We have 2 more trail connections that will be opening this fall, which is really exciting. And it's kind of the work we're doing along the riverfront that the Park and Recreation Board is doing. The North Minneapolis, we have the connecting to Ole Olson Park and the 26th Avenue North Overlook, which is really exciting. And that's really historic because, as you know, the freeway cut off North Minneapolis. This is that first connection from North Minneapolis all the way to the river for our community to get along, to come to the Stone Arch Bridge, to go all the way to Minnehaha Falls. It's a really incredible milestone. Then, of course, we have Northeast Minneapolis. We're connecting Graco Park to Boom Island, which is a great project working together on that, too, to get that connection, which is very exciting. So it really is a big year for Minneapolis and for the trails and our incredible park system. We truly are a jewel, and it's really a privilege to be a part of this. So I want to thank MnDOT, Governor Walz, the legislative partners for investing in repairs. If you had an opportunity to ever see the work, I had the privilege of being at the St. Anthony Heritage Board, and they showed MnDOT worker was there talking about the amazing work that happened along the bridge. It was absolutely incredible to see the technical, the expertise to be able to do this work. So I encourage you to take a look here, a chance to see this work. It's amazing. And of course, to thank the workers and their efforts for getting this done early. So thank you very much. It's really an honor. And at this time, I'm going to introduce, of course, Steve Hart.
All right, Steve. All right.
I'm Steve Hark. I'm business owner in this community of the Minneapolis Event Center. Probably I'm the happiest person here today to see this bridge open. We did not realize how important this bridge was to our business, and in the last 2 years we kept getting one question: when is the bridge going to open? It was a question coming over and over for every client we toured our properties. They want to get married here, they want a graduation and engagement. So we realized how important that bridge was in attracting business, not connecting Northeast Minneapolis to downtown, but it was also bringing a lot of people from different parts of the state. We host a lot of proms for a lot of schools from all over the state, and they do come to this neighborhood because of this destination. So this is a pretty iconic destination, and the mayor calls Minneapolis a world-class city. We cannot imagine a world-class city without this destination. So we're very thankful for this investment. Thank you, MnDOT, Governor, Mayor. This is really, really critical for the vitality of this economy on this side of the bridge. It attracts a lot of guests. Attracts a lot of, believe it or not, a lot of companies bring their meetings and their trainings to our facilities, and then after that they go down to restaurants because they can spend time on this iconic bridge. So we're hosting over 300 events on this Saturday. This is a big deal to bring hundreds of thousands of people to this neighborhood. It helps the restaurants, it helps the local coffee shops, it helps everybody. So we are very excited. We're very thankful and happy to be here today to open this, this iconic destination again for everyone to come and enjoy it. So thank you all for being here, and we're very happy and proud to be in this part of Minneapolis.
Yes. We're going to cut it? We'll cut this thing, and then we'll take some questions from all of you.
I'm good. Yes, yes.
You voted for it.
I did vote for it.
You voted for it.
I'm good. I'm good.
We're taking a selfie.
Our,
One group photo.
Emmett.
I'm right here. All right, let's start on me right here.
All right.
3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. Perfect. Then we move down. Okay, look at me. Oh, sorry. Yes, got it. 3, 2, 1.
We'll just go from
3, 2, 1. Thanks.
All right.
You good? You got it?
Thank you, guys. All right. Thanks, everybody. Does that work?
Yes, thank
All right.
you. Come on up.
We'll get Nancy.
Amber, just in case.
Get the mayor, too. Well, as folks are coming up, thank you all for coming out here. I know we got folks waiting on the bridge. You get this thing, and we'll get cleared out of here. But we'd be glad to take on topic first, and I'd be glad to have Mayor Frey take some off topic afterwards. So we got.
Sure. The question is, what are the reasons for being able to open early? So first of all, I want to give kudos to the contractors for working so diligently. I do understand that we had a mild winter last year and more work was able to continue through the winter than what was originally anticipated when we laid out the schedule.
I think some people might see some video of the bridge and say, hey, this looks the same. Can you go into what repairs were made, why they were necessary, etc.?
Sure. So the question is about the condition of the bridge, what precipitated the need for a construction project. So it is an old bridge, and they need to, of course, continue to have investments. There have been a number of projects over the years to keep up the condition of this historic bridge on the National Register. So some of the work involved replacing stone, replacing mortar joints, and tuck pointing. There was some underwater work, and now I'm going to look to Amber. What am I missing?
You're right on there, Commissioner. We did have some tie rods, which are the rods that go through the bridge on either side of the walls that we did some spot painting on as well. But really the point was so that it would look the same. All of our repairs were done that way to blend in. So yes, they were all set to the Secretary of Interior standards because this is a historic bridge and very important.
Anyone else anything? Oh, good for yeah. Yeah. All of you heard the point was is highlighting the folks back in 1992 with Mayor Frazier at the time, Don Frazier and the others who worked on it, who made the effort to save it. And I think too often, and it's a really good point, that it doesn't look all that different. It's very difficult to keep historic things looking in that historic case, but also have the structural integrity that they need. It also takes the visions of people who realize tearing stuff down and building new isn't always necessarily the right way to go. And this was certainly one of those cases that we didn't. Then I'll take it. I know Mayor Frey had to leave. It's the Frey's due date today for their new baby, so they're waiting for the call. So, anybody off? You want some off? Yeah, go ahead.
The endorsement over the weekend in Minneapolis. Mayor's going to win the endorsement.
Well, some of you might know with my history with endorsements, I don't put a lot of time on them. I'm just going to name that out right now. Party does the party work, the rest of us who are there. And I'll just say we'll take a look at everything on that, and it will work its way out. We'll talk and go forward after that. I would just say that I have had the privilege of working with Mayor Frey for quite a few years here, and this was another example of that. But we'll talk at some point. Yeah. Well, first of all, I want to thank the jurors for doing their civic duty and our court system's work, to the judges, everybody involved in that. Unfortunate situation, but Senator Mitchell was found guilty by a jury of her peers, and according to Minnesota law. And I think today that the acknowledgement of that she will be resigning here. I think I saw August 5th or something. I'll, of course, then, as soon as time permits, we will call for the special election in that seat. And I think many of you know how this goes. There's a possibility then that someone who's already in elected office will run for that seat, and then that will trigger a special election in their seat. But the goal would be is to do that as timely as possible, give people time to get a campaign together, run, and then have all of that done by February when we come back into session. So.
What if you have to have a special session in the fall?
Well, we're looking at that now if that would come. I think the likelihood of that is relatively slim. We're assessing where we're at. I think eventually over time the negatives and the damage that was done by the recently passed bill will require a lot of state activity. The question will be will it have to happen before February? And I think at this point in time, I don't believe that's the case. Because some of it was strategically not wanting to own it, that they don't kick in until after the next elections, meaning if you do really bad things to people, you have them kick in after you have to go in front of the poll. But some of those will happen beforehand. But we are watching that. Should the situation come up where it looks like it's accelerating on that, we'll make sure we get there. But we do it in a timely manner, follow the law. Eric? That's probably sometime. Yeah, Melissa and Mark's murders changed my perception on a lot of things. The horrificness of that, the sadness that comes with it, the anger. I think all of us going through those emotions, and it's been no secret. I've said it numerous times that I had no closer and more effective political ally in my time than Melissa Hortman. So, yes, and I think when I say that. That can go on either side of the ledger, the desire to continue to do her work, or the recognition that it would be hard to do it without her, and that's what we're weighing. But I do think, to be in fairness, try to make a decision as soon as we can. I think most people are pretty happy with the shorter length of election cycles anyway, but we want to give people enough time. So. Oh, I encourage everyone who wants to run. It's your duty, and if you want to get out there, get out and run.
Did you speak to Senator Mitchell over the weekend during those 48 hours?
I did not. No, I did not. And I think very early on I was clear, and I'm glad the system worked itself out. Look, it's a sad situation, and in this case, family issues, and then they get brought out into public. I just say again, I trust our justice system. A jury of her peers found her guilty, and she made the right decision. And my hope is that both she and her family are able to heal from this, find a way forward. All right? You want one more?
I'll take one more.
I'm just enjoying the back. Use this B-roll of for the next half year or something. Look at this.
I've been stories last week about David Brom getting out of Saturday at Lina Lakes. He's going to a halfway house
Yeah.
next weekend, and a couple Republicans were saying, well, this is sort of at your feet because of changes in 2023. I mean, I presume, well, what do you have to say about that?
Yeah, it's a horrific. I said those of us in southern Minnesota know this story well. The horrificness of it, of David Brom killing his parents and his siblings when he was 16. He had 3 life sentences. The way the law was, he had been paroled on 2 of those and is into his 3rd one. David Brom was getting out here in the next few years before the law was changed. But the issue is in Minnesota, it's doing some updates and doing some modernization and using data to support how we do corrections. He would be able to be eligible. Doesn't mean he's going to get out. He has to go through the whole system. If he's a threat to society, he's not getting out. But it makes it eligible for this. And statistically, his chance of reoffending may be relatively small, but I understand the emotional side of this. I understand the horror of the type of crime that he committed is what makes people incredibly nervous. So it's the system. It passed. We execute it. There is no guarantee that he will be out. even under the old system, he eventually would have been out in the near future anyway. So, all right. Thanks, everybody.